right, in 1995, the department applied for a Peconic Estuary demonstration grant to move alewives from the North Spillway over into the lake above it in hopes of aiding the alewife run in the Peconic River. That project went on for 5 years. During the second year, I ran into Bob Conklin, and I'd been working with Bob, was in his high school or his middle school science class at the 105 bridge with some striped bass work. So he got interested, and he got his class interested in helping move fish. So for 4 or 5 years, we moved fish. Bob got the idea to develop the Peconic River Fish Restoration Commission and put in a fish ladder. We explored it. Grant monies being what they were, the citizens in Riverhead put together the money to buy the fish ladder. An Alaska steep pass, about 20 feet long, made out of welded aluminum. Jim Miller from Miller Environmental put the fish ladder in place. The first year it went in place, it went on the north side of the spillway, or the first time it went in place, and the fish didn't use it. Bob was there every day watching. So he talked to Jim, and Jim and his crew came back and moved it to the south side of the spillway. The fish used it right away. That fish ladder, under the permit with the DEC, could go in on March 1st, had to come out on May 1st. We moved fish successfully. We tried to document fish in the fish ladder. We got a few pictures of them. You knew the fish were using the ladder because they were above it. It became obvious that it was a serious commitment for Bob, for Miller Environmental, to do this continuously. So we looked at approaches that would give us a permanent fish passage that could just stay in place. That's where we came up with a rock ramp. We went with the aid of Peconic Estuary, DEC, American Rivers, Fish and Wildlife Service, a whole host of people were involved in this. We came up with a plan to develop a rock ramp. This is a fish passage system using natural stone. It's been used successfully in Connecticut, in Europe, a number of places. So that looked like the best fix. It took a frustratingly long time with permits and getting grants in place, getting contracts in place. Everything was signed, sealed, and delivered. The last minute need for some money was solved, and a local construction company started the work. They first had to repair the North Spillway, which was crumbling. I'm not sure how old the concrete was in that spillway, but it had to be probably 100 years old. They removed that. They went down to good concrete and rebuilt the spillway from scratch from there up, and then worked on the rock ramp. They had to stop the flow of water, which was an interesting challenge in its own right. Then they removed sediment. They rebuilt the base of the stream with the contouring and the grading. The rock ramp takes what would be a straight drop from a dam of 4 or 5 feet and stretched it out over 200 feet, essentially 200 feet, about 190 I think was the final figure. So it's a 5-foot drop from the top of the rock ramp to the bottom of it. And the alewives can negotiate that quite successfully, probably at all tides. So it took about 2 months to do the entire construction project. And as I said earlier, when the water started to flow on February 22nd, it was about 3 weeks later that alewives were using it and moving upstream. Now we've had a series of major storm events since then. Some of them may have swum over the top of the dam with the tides that we've had. But the rock ramp is working. The run this year appears quite strong based on what you were able to see here in Grangeville Park. I would like to see it stronger, and maybe it will, but it's going to take time. You know, it's not going to be something that you put the rock ramp in and there's more fish almost immediately. No. I think the fish have used the rock ramp. We were concerned, some of us were concerned that the fish would still come back to the North Spillway, stack up there, and not know what they were supposed to do. That doesn't appear to have happened. There may be some fish right here behind me, but it's not all of the schools of fish are there. They're going through quite successfully. I've seen at Woodhull Dam, I guess the biggest concentration of fish I saw just before the last heavy rainstorm was almost 1,000 fish in the pool. My guess, You can't count them, they're moving too rapidly. But relative to what you could count, on days when there's a few fish, there was a lot of fish there. Yesterday, it was 250 or so. So they've come back immediately after the storm. It's still high flood waters here. So they're using it successfully, and that's a good thing.